What is going on, everybody, and welcome back. We are here on the free-to-play account, The Road to Max Rank, and we are going to look at one of two new Dokkan events added with the 8th anniversary, Everybody's Wish Spirit Bomb Miracle. Now, this Dokkan events awakens both GT Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and Shenron and Nova Shenron, right? So we're going to look at all the descriptions, the character descriptions for both these sets of characters, and then at the very end, I am going to give you my opinion of how you should build them, right? And it's just my opinion. You don't have to take it to heart. Before we do start in the character description, I will have to say that all source material that you see off to the right is taken from the Dokkan Wiki. I will have 3 links in the description, one to the Dokkan Wiki and 2 other links associated with each character's character card, right? So you can look at it yourself at your own time and all that fun stuff, right? So let's go ahead and jump right in. We're using the Hybrid Saiyan team because it's just a Dokkan event, right? Just trying to clear it out as best I can, right? So let's go ahead and jump right in. Let me set up auto battle, and let's start with Miracle making final showdown Goku GT and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Their leader skill is Power of Wishes or Battle of Fate, category Ki +3, HP attack or defense 170%, plus an additional HP attack and defense 30% for characters who also belong to the Final Trump card or Shadow Dragon category. Their passive is Deadly Final Battle, attack and defense 200%, plus an additional attack and defense 50% when HP is 50% or more, plus an additional Ki +1 per Ki Sphere obtained, and an additional 100% defense as the first attacker in a turn, plus an additional Ki +2 per Ki Sphere obtained, and an additional 100% attack as the second or third attacker in the turn. Launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack when Ki is 18 or more. Launches an additional super attack when Ki is 24, and Ki +1 reduces damage received by 10% up to 50% with each super attack performed. Now, moving on to their super attack, their 12 Ki is cooperation between rivals, raises attack, raises defense for 1 turn, and causes colossal damage to the enemy. Their 18 Ki is Goku and Vegeta's double attack, greatly raises attack, greatly raises defense for 1 turn, and causes mega colossal damage to the enemy. Their links are Saiyan Warrior Race, the Saiyan Lineage, Experienced Fighters, GT, Prepare for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. Their categories are Shadow Dragon, Pure Saiyans, Powerful Comeback, Power of Wishes, Final Trump Card, Joined Forces, Bond of Parent and Child, GT Heroes, Connected Hope, All Out Struggle, and Battle of Fate. Their transformation mechanic in order to go into their standby phase can be activated when HP is 50% or less, or starting from the 4th turn from the start of battle if the character receives an attack 4 or more times in battle, once only. Moving on to their partners, I'm going to show the first 10 or 15 or however I have it. Their best linking partner is themselves, their standby self, right? Which is pretty good. Also, the standby phase for their twin card, the Goku and Vegeta from the Spirit Bomb of Majin Buu Saga. And then there's the GT Goku with 6 out of 7. Then the 2 Gogetas. I mean, the two base fusion ones. Tech Gogeta and STR Vegeta with 6 out of 7. And then it kind of tapers off a little bit because, I mean, they do share, Saiyan Warrior Race, the Saiyan Lineage, Experienced Fighters, GT, Prepare. They share so generic links with so many good characters, right? So very, very nice. So let's go ahead and move over to their standby phase mode. And let's look at it. So Miracle making final showdown. Jesus, couldn't read, bro. Super Saiyan Vegeta GT. Leader skill remains the same, but their passive changes. So passive, make a miracle happen. Attack 250%, defense 150% when HP is 50% or more. All allies Ki +8 and attack 80%. Really good. Revives with 100% HP when the character or an ally attacking in the same turn is KO'd once only. Plus an additional 39% when finish effect is activated. And that's all the finish skill, right? So they have multiple. So they have the finish skill. They have their own super attacks because these guys do actually super attack. So let's go over the finish skill first. Then we'll go over the super attack. So the finish skill Super Ultra Spirit Bomb. Can be activated when the character's revival skill is activated once per turn. Counters with in super intense power against the enemy who KO'd the character or an ally attacking in the same turn. Absolutely fantastic. So it's a KO mechanic. It's not a charge up. It's a standby KO mechanic, which is really good. So you want them to die so they can counter with this full Spirit Bomb. Super attack key plus 12 is fight in honor of Goku's will. Fight in honor of Goku's will greatly raises attack for one turn and causes colossal damage to the enemy. And then their ultra super attack 18 key is Earth protecting Saiyan's pride. Greatly raises attack for one turn and causes mega colossal damage to the enemy. Raises super class allies attack by 40% for one turn. Wow. So you want to throw this guy in the front because you want him to get hit so he can counter with the Spirit Bomb. And then obviously he supports, he heals, and all this other stuff. He doesn't have any defensive capabilities if he's below 50, but that's totally fine. You want him to die because the whole point of this standby phase is to get counter, is to counter with the Spirit Bomb, which is an insanely powerful attack. It really is. Right. So moving on to links. Saiyan Warrior Race, Super Saiyan, Experienced Fighters, GT, Prepare for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. Their categories that remain exactly the same. Their transformation mechanics remain exactly the same. And their partners change slightly different, but it's more or less the same batch of characters. Because obviously, like I said before, they do have very similar links to a whole bunch of other characters, right? Their best linking partner is themselves in their non-standby phase. And also the Majin Buu duo in their non-standby phase, right? With 6 out of 7 links, and then a Spirit Bomb absorb Goku. Then there's that Majin Buu standby phase Spirit Bomb one, and then it tapers off, right? Because again, whole bunch of same links with a whole bunch of other Saiyan characters. Really, really good. All right, so now that we looked at both versions of the Spirit Bomb GT, let's move on to their banner unit, and it is Ice Shenron and Nova Shenron, Icy Malice, and Fury Pride. Their leader skill is GT Bosses, category key plus 3, HP attack and defense 130%. Their passive skills, Conflicting Energies, changes AGL and STR key spheres to tech key spheres and attack and defense 134%. Plus an additional defense 134% when attacking with 3 or more key spheres obtained. Plus an additional attack 134%. When attacking with 4 or more key sphere obtained, launches an additional super attack with 7 or more key spheres obtained, effective against all types when the target enemy is stunned. Their super effect, their 12 key is Tornado of Ice and Fire, raises attack and defense for one turn, and causes supreme damage to the enemy with a great chance of stunning the enemy. Pretty good. Their links are Gentleman, Brutal Beatdown, Cold Judgment, Shocking Speed, GT, Shadow Dragons, Fierce Battle. The categories are Shadow Dragons, Joint Force, GT Bosses. Not a lot, right? Genuinely not a lot. Their best linking partners is the Nova Shenron, the 6 out of 7 one. The banner unit that came out. Was it with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta? Yeah, and then obviously there's the tech one that's been around for a long time. Then the Sin Shenron, the tech Sin Shenron that came out last year as the banner unit to the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Is also on here, and then obviously Sin Shenrons and Ice Shenrons and stuff like that. But I mean, they have, Cold Judgment, Shocking Speed, GT, Brutal Beatdown. So those share like some villain links with some other ones, right? So it's nothing too crazy. I think the only thing is that they don't have big bad bosses, but I guess they're not a big bad boss. They're not the head honcho. They're more like the minions, quotations, right? But they're also they're still not, right? But who cares? But nonetheless, Ice Shenron, Nova Shenron, I think this is a good addition to GT bosses. Obviously, we need more support, but I feel as though both sets of banner support quotations should have been associated towards the actual main stake leaders, or like the leaders of the anniversary, right? Both the Super Saiyan, both the Goku GT, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta Spirit Bomb card, and the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta Spirit Bomb card. They should have positively impacted them too, and they really don't in an effective way, right? So very unfortunate, but still, hey, any buff to GT bosses is still good. Another extreme tech, so whatever. How I personally would build Goku and Vegeta, I would build them with full additional and either full crit, so full additional with sub crit, or full additional and sub dodge, and I'll explain that in a second. Or just full crit and a variant of additional and dodge, right? I would not actually build them with full dodge. I actually wouldn't. The reason why, because in their base form, they're already ridiculously defensively capable, right? They give themselves 50% damage reduction with each super attack performed. So to emphasize that even more, they can triple super, right? They can quad super, right? So giving them additionals to further benefit that is huge, right? They have the great chance of becoming a super attack when 18 key or more, and then they guarantee launch a super attack when 24, right? Then plus their hidden potential and the regular attacking, it's 18 times. There's 4 times it can attack, right? And they stack attack, which is fantastic for the Spirit Bomb. That's what you want. Now, if you do, and then you sub crit, so when the Spirit Bomb hits, it has big potential to just straight up crit and just wipe out anything in full, do maximum amount damage, right? The only reason you would build dodge into them is so that you can emphasize the defensive capabilities in their non-standby phase, but it also counters the standby phase because you want them to get hit. You want them to KO. You know what I mean? You want your characters to get hit so they can counter with the Spirit Bomb and just one shot whatever's in front of you. That's the whole point, right? So maybe running dodge isn't the best idea, but it is still an option. Personally, full crit sub additionals, because they can already triple super, right? By themselves with no help, right? But the one thing they don't have is crit. So if you build them with full crit, then every single attack, regardless if they're in their standby phase or not, is going to heavily benefit because they're just going to do a ridiculous amount of damage. And that is also a cherry on top for when they do the Spirit Bomb, right? So really, really, really good. I would personally build full crit and sub additional, and that's how I would do it. But you're also not wrong in emphasizing the damage output multiple times with full additional and sub crit. I would do full crit and sub additional is my personal preference for this character, right? All right, so let's move on to Ice Shenron and Nova Shenron. How would I personally build these two? So obviously, they don't really have any defensive capabilities outside of raw stats. They do give them self-defense on super attack. So building them with full additional and sub dodge, or full dodge and sub additional, probably is the way to go. The reason why you want to stay away from crit is because they have a part of their passive that's effective against all types. Sure, it's super specific. It's not general. I don't know why they just didn't do it general, right? But still, it's still part of their passive. So it's still. Oh wow, I just sat in the after the finish screen. I am so sorry. That's my mistake. I was not paying attention. I was too busy describing the cards. Oh man, that's hilarious. I'm gonna keep that. But like I said before, I feel as though you absolutely should build them with full additional sub dodge or full dodge sub additionals, depending on what you want, because they can do a lot of damage and have a lot of raw defense, right? Quotations. So emphasizing the ability to triple super is a big thing, right? Because they'll be able to get a whole bunch of key spheres on the field. If you focus on them specifically, if you just get 3 key spheres, it doesn't have to be tech. It's just in general, they'll have a big defensive boost, right? If you can get all 7, then you activate their full passive, and they could do pretty decent damage and have okay defense, right? So, and just through raw defense, maybe, right? If they had like a medium chance to dodge, I feel like you could have slapped that on this character, like similar to like the Gotenks and Piccolo card. Just slapped it on because why not? And they would have been a little bit better. But unfortunately, they didn't do that. They are an orb changer, so that's really good for GT bosses who can struggle with key, right? Especially with some of these boss characters, right? For sure, right? So, but with that being said, guys, that's pretty much it. Ain't not much else to say. Personally, I really, really like the GT duo. They're obviously, at the time of recording for Global, considered the best unit in the game because of defensive capabilities, and offensive capabilities cater very well with the Majin Buu Spirit Bomb as a close second place, right? in my opinion. The banner units, both of them are a little bit underwhelming, considering that they both don't really benefit the big head honcho staple cards of the anniversary, but they do help every other category that those cards are not a part of, right? So there is some balance to them, and obviously any support for Shadow Dragons and GT bosses is a huge benefit, right? So we'll see. Obviously, we're eventually going to get more Shadow Dragon support, and then these two might actually be absolutely fantastic because of their orb changing. I think that's going to be a big thing for these guys. But other than that, they kind of like could be easily replaced with a different card if we have more variety for GT bosses. That's all I'm saying though. But I'm out of here. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I do appreciate you guys watching. I'll catch you guys later. Peace. Take care.